All right. Let's say you've finished drawing your lot. You have your north arrow and you're ready to print. If you type preview, it will not do anything because you haven't set up anything yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to layout, okay, and then try again our preview over there. And if it still doesn't preview, that means that you have to set up your page. So we're going to right click on the layout and then click page setup manager, modify, and make sure that this is all set up correctly. And the first thing you're going to do is select this, make sure it's AutoCAD PDF general documentation, and then you can select your paper from here, okay? And we're just going to select an 8.5 by 11 paper, which is the default over here. Full bleed means that it's not going to have any margin. Okay, so if you just regularly select an architectural paper here, then or an ISO paper, then it will have like a unprintable portion or a margin. So we're just gonna leave it to full bleed 11 by 8.5. Okay, and then we can leave everything as is, and then click OK, click close, so that when we type preview, it should show us our lot. But if it doesn't show us our lot, okay, that means that there's a problem with our CTB file. So let's explore that. When we close this and look at our lot, okay, first, we're supposed to have this layer, I mean, lot line that's supposed to show on a preview, but it doesn't. So let's first explore our layer. So on our layer, these um, icons have several things that means on them. Typically, this button over here, and I can zoom on this one, but this button over here means that it will control whether the layer will show up on print. If you have a no entry sign there, a small red dot with a line on it, and I hope you can see it on this video, but you can press that and it will remove the red mark on it. If you press it again, it will put it again. When a layer has this red no entry sign, that means it's not gonna print. Okay, so make sure that when you have a layer that you want to print, that there is no red marking on the print icon. A layer called DEFPOINT sometimes gets created, and then that layer is a default layer that will never print. So in this case, you will see that the icon is gray. When the icon is gray, whatever objects you put on layered def points will never get printed no matter what you do. Okay, so we just uncheck or remove the red icon here. So it has a red icon before, so I press it again. Now it's gone. I can close this now, and then I can type in preview, and then now your lot shows. Okay, but the north arrow doesn't show. And if I close this and look at my page setup again, so right click, page setup, modify, um, everything looks okay. And if I look at my layers again, oh, looks like that the def points is red and my object looks like it's in def points. So if I select this um, red north arrow, I cannot select it from my layout because it is supposed to be selected in the model space. Okay, I can select that on the layout if I double click, and then I can now select that. And you can see up here that the layer is def points. Okay, so if I bring it back to a different layer, let's say layer 0, okay, press escape and then double click on the gray area to go out of the viewport. If I now click plot, oh, if I now click preview, then the north arrow will show. Okay, so this viewport, if I don't want this to show it on a preview, so because when I type preview, I can see this line, and if I don't want that, I can put back this line, the viewport, into the layer that will never print called def points. Click that, okay, and then press escape, and then if I preview, then the box of viewport will now be hidden. It's there, but it will never be printed. Okay, so there's several things that the reason why it doesn't get print is it could be on a layer called def points that will never be printed, or if you put a or accidentally click this icon and it has a red no entry sign on it, the next time you preview, that object will not show. Okay, and that is controlled by your print icon here. So make sure it doesn't have that red mark on it, so that when you preview, everything shows fine. Okay, there is another video on how to control line weights here. Okay, line weights means it's going to turn thick. Okay, but let's just show that. Okay, that is controlled again from your page setup manager modify, and this one controls our line weight. Okay, so if I click that, I have here a line weight called engineer CTB. Okay, and if I click on this one, it defines my colors. One will be printed black, yellow will be printed black, green will be printed black. If you select 14, it will be printed 14 because it says use object color. So these are the standard color: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 is also red, but it will be printed red, and red will be printed black. Okay. Line weights are also controlled using this line weight box over here. Red is 0.13, 2 is 0.18. Okay. So if you select a different color, like I have on my drawing, color 30, it will show color 30, and we don't want that. We want our lot to be specifically black and thick. Okay, so let me cancel first and make sure that I set up my CTB file. You can name your CTB file whatever you want, but I teach a class called Engineering 9, and so I named that CTB file Engineering 9. So you just click this OK, close, and I'm going to go back to my layer. And then this is a non-standard color, so it will print or show orange. So make sure I select that, and then I select the standard colors here. If I want my lot lines to be printed thick, I should select either gray, light gray, dark gray, even white, which is black, or magenta. Okay, so if I select this white, which is black, I'm going to click OK, and then you can see it in the background turn black. So now if I do a preview, now it's thicker. Okay, but if you don't have your page set up done correctly, okay, so let's say this one is not set up, you click none, click OK, close. If you preview, it's thin again. So the CTB file controls the line weights, and make sure you use the correct CTB file, and that CTB file has the correct line weights for each of these colors. Okay, as you can see, this number changes every single time I select something, but it's only typically colors 1 through 9 that we set up, and everything else will be left by their default setting. Okay, so very important, the CTB file is set correctly so that when you preview, it works well. If you want this to be thin, then what you have to do is you need to change this to a layer that is thin, okay, or a color that is thin. So double click, and let's do this. I just go back to model space, I get my layer, and then I select a new layer, and I call it north. Okay, and then I select this. I don't want it to be thick, I want it to be thinner, so I'll select red. Green will also work, so I'll just select red, click OK, and then I close this and select this and put that on that layer north. Okay, so that when I preview, oh, go to layout and then preview, double click on the gray and then preview. And you can see now thicker lines, thin lines. Okay, so just some little clarification so that if you are having trouble showing your line weights, or even showing the object. That's how to fix it. Okay.